Now joining us on the broadcast is Vivekanand Nartam. He's the assistant professor at Shamlal College in Delhi University. Now sir, IIT's decision to relax admission criterion is definitely a very good news for all the aspirants this year. Your thoughts on it?
In my opinion, I think it's a welcome decision on the part of MHRD, Human Resource Development, and Joint Admission Board. For this, am I audible to you properly?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead.
All right. Okay. So I think it's a welcome decision on the part of MHRD and the JAB, Joint Admission Board. For the simple reason that, as we also know that the board exams could not be conducted all over India because of the pandemic. And, the entire formula that was determined to announce the final result was, if they have appeared for 2 exams or 3 exams, 2 papers or 3 papers, based on their best scores, their final grade would be, decided. Now, in this case, we also need to understand some students are good in certain papers and they are not good in certain other papers. Or they may not have prepared so well in certain papers and they may not have prepared so well
in another papers. So, this criterion for this joint admission test or JEE advanced or the IIT score, as of now, the criterion is that in case of students belonging to general category and students belonging to, OBC categories, they are supposed to be scoring more than 75% of marks,
right.
Or they are supposed to be figuring out in the 25 top percentile points. And in case of SC and ST students, it is 65% or top. They are supposed to be fulfill the criterion of 20% top percentile points. Now, as I initially also mentioned, they may not be good in the papers or they may not be so well prepared in the previous papers, and they were prepared for another papers which they could not appear for. So in such a case, if we go by the same old criterion, I think that would be injustice for them.
Absolutely.
This is one of the reasons. Another reason is that the old parameters cannot apply for the reason that we still are living in this, the shadow of the pandemic. And if you compare this to, the tunnel, we do not see any light coming from the another side. In such a situation, we have to, and we cannot put certain things on hold for endless time. So we have to have certain mechanisms at our disposal. And therefore, I believe, scrapping the criterion for marks and then going for those who just have cleared the exams, ultimately their admissions or their recruitment to the concerned institute or the selection in the concerned institute would be based on their final performance in the entrance examination.
Absolutely. So that's exactly what the reaction has been on the social media as well. Many users have been pointing out that it was long due and it only took a pandemic for the government to make this move. Do you agree to it?
That's very true. That's very true, for the simple reason that I believe so much of focus on the percentage on 11th and 12th classes, that sort of, leads to rote learning. That sort of leads to, mugging things up and then writing them down in the exams. Whereas in the entrance test, which have now been made compulsory in case of every entrance test for most of the engineering colleges, management colleges, medical colleges, NEET, and all these JEE and all these exams, I believe the focus of this exam is on understanding rather than rote learning. We also know that India is lagging behind in terms of innovation, in terms of understanding, in terms of our universities do not figure out in one amongst top 100 or 200 universities or institutes across the world. I think we need to go for certain changes so that instead of focusing on this mugging or rote learning, we will go ahead in understanding subject matter, in instilling the curiosity among the minds of your youngsters, who then will take up to leadership positions in terms of innovation, in terms of research. So I think this is a long due process, and despite this pandemic has created a lot of havoc, and we have sort of forgotten our normal lives, but it also has paved us the way for rethinking as to how to go
Absolutely.
ahead about the usage of technology and all these things.
Absolutely. As you rightly said, the pandemic has led to a lot of changes and rethinking. Now, the IIT has taken that decision in changing the admission criterion. Do you think other big institutes like NIT and IIIT can also be expected to follow suit?
Obviously, when IITs are going ahead with this policy, I think there should not be any problem with other universities or other institutes to not to go ahead with this. That would be better for the benefit of students, and as we also know that the parents themselves have gone to the courts and urged the courts to stop the conducting of exams because of the pandemic. They did not want to expose their pupils to the spread of the disease. I think every other university, I myself teach in Delhi University, and in our university also we have kept our exams on hold, and we are in the process of finding out mechanisms as to how we are going to go ahead with the announcing of results, and how we are going to go ahead with the conducting of our regular classes. I think it is necessary that every other university, institute, and all training institutes, educational institutes, and all technological institutes should go ahead with the the mandatory things. And I think the MHRD and all the concerned officials and the ministers have taken this thing into consideration, and based on that, they are going ahead with such decisions.
Absolutely, Mr. Vivekanand. You rightly pointed out all the universities also need to step up now. If we focus on the Delhi University, are we going to expect some changes in their also admission criterion as well?
As of now, things are in still pipeline, and a lot of thought process is going on, and churning is going on. There are a lot of stakeholders. For example, student fraternity, the students and parents on one side, the teachers organization on another side, and the university administration, and then UGC and MHRD involved. So, all these stakeholders as of now are in the process of negotiating. Having said that, we also need to ensure that the quality or the respect that the universities and our IITs, NITs, and all, particularly since I'm in Delhi University, commands certain respect, even in terms of when students go for.
Yes, Mr. Vivekanand, go ahead, we can hear you.
Right. So when students go for their admissions in different parts of world, Delhi University has certain respect.
Right.
And therefore, I think we also need to ensure that, the quality of the degree, the respect that it commands should not get hampered. So we have to devise certain mechanism. We do not lose onto our credibility. At the same, it does not lead to inconvenience to students and parents.
Absolutely, absolutely. The education sector need to take care of all the stakeholders, including students, parents, and everyone. And thank you so much for speaking to us. IIT has made a call on the admission criterion. Let's see what you will be up to once the admissions begin there.